A reading from a mother's view on findyolanda.com. The night of August 10th, 2004, the evening sky seemed to shine like a gigantic sapphire dome. That was the night our daughter disappeared and was murdered. I believe someone needs to be held accountable for the death of our daughter and my grandchildren's mother. By Patricia Bindics, Buffalo News, August 23rd, 2007. Yolanda Bindics disappeared from Jamestown, New York, on the evening of August 10th, 2004. She was seen approximately 8:20 p.m. as she left her place of employment at the Family Dollar in Jamestown on Fluvanna Avenue. She was reported the next morning missing. Her vehicle was discovered on the evening of August 11, 2004, abandoned at an Arby's restaurant on the corner of Fluvanna, a few blocks away from where she was employed at the Family Dollar. Initially, the FBI offered a reward of $20,000 for the information leading to the location of Yolanda Bindics and the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for her disappearance. Early Wednesday morning, Jamestown police found Yolanda Bindics' keys in a storm sewer at the corner of West 6th and Lafayette Streets. The keys were found in the northwest section of the city, not far from where Bindics' purse, keychain, and other personal items were washed out of two storm sewers following heavy rains. It was shortly after that I contacted Sarah Bishop from WB49 in an effort to have a photographer follow me on my search for Yolanda, meet the family, and discuss what had happened to Yolanda. The pictures that you're seeing with me with Sarah Bishop were on the corner of Lafayette and 6th Street, where the keys and purse washed out of the storm drains. Yolanda Bindics had 4 children, and soon a police officer was said to be a person of interest. I find it a little hard to believe that a police officer would jeopardize his family, his life, his career over something like this. Things could be stranger, but I never felt it was the police officer that harmed Yolanda. The original article that I wrote and pictures that I took of Yolanda were done by me on various searches that I did for Yolanda, along with WB49. And I said right from the very beginning that she was northeast on the ground. This was also on my website, www.lindacrystal.com at the time. As I stated, Yolanda had 2 danger zones in her chart. One was north and the other one was east. An older man at her work or working nearby planned to take her as early as the day or 2 before. Apparently 2 females went on vacation, leaving his home vacant. He told Yolanda that his car was broke or he was sick or some other excuse to take him home or meet her, but there definitely was a meeting. The chart indicated some kind of an animal connection. He was within 10 to 20 miles of where Yolanda was taken, and his home was south. This I cannot verify today. Yolanda was a horse, an Oriental horse, and she loved horses and animals, and she also wanted her freedom and independence. I do believe Yolanda was restricted in a home for a period of time. The manner of death, that, in my opinion, is strangulation, beating, and drowning. This appears to be a con man with a previous record. I have told you before, there are 2 things that a person will do if they are capable of abducting or kidnapping a person. 1, they have robbery in their background, possible sex offenses or rape, and they have domestic violence patterns. To me, this does not sound like the police officer that was involved. On the day that Yolanda was taken, which was a 6th day, indicating Earth, and it was also a monkey year, indicating that there were tricks played on Yolanda, so somebody tricked her into this meeting, I believe. And also that there were various things going on that indicated to me Mars had gone into Virgo, which indicated a large piece of land, so I knew that she was on the ground. The letters FOX would be very important. In my article, and I have it reposted now on www.lindacrystal.com, I said that Yolanda was deceased and that she was northeast and that she was not a runaway. I knew that from the beginning and treated it as such. Yolanda was found September 10th, 2006 in the Boutwell Forest in the town of Charlotte, New York, which is northeast of where the purse and the keys were found and and where Yolanda was taken. That year I was diagnosed with breast cancer and had to go through surgery, chemo, and radiation. Shortly after I had surgery at Roswell, my husband was wheeling me in the wheelchair into the radiation department, and I had a vision of Yolanda. It was there that I saw Yolanda sitting in the waiting room, and she turned and looked at me, and what was about her neck was a bloody red scarf. So that indicated to me that there would be injuries around Yolanda's neck for sure. And as I turned to tell my husband, within seconds I turned around, Yolanda was gone. Of course, I had a brush there with death, so this would not be uncommon for a sensitive like myself to have this kind of a vision. But I knew in my heart at that point the injuries about Yolanda. You're going to see a picture of the Boutwell Forest there. It's quite a desolate area. I was unnerved by the area because there was literally on top of hills nobody for miles. Nobody. The roads are all dirt roads. They're very hard to get to. And I was told by some of the local people this is where a lot of horses and animals that had died were taken. So maybe this was the animal connection. Later in 2007, after forensic analysis was done, Yolanda's family laid her to rest in Holy Cross Cemetery, and I went to visit her grave and put flowers there for her, saying that I would not give up on finding her killer. Basically, there were three persons of interest: the police officer that they tried and eventually was sued, and I never believed from the beginning, and I told the family that the police officer was not the kind of individual to do this thing to Yolanda. Then there was Darian Thomas and Clarence Carl Cart, both of which had their difficulties. In August of 2009, WGRZ put out an article that the police, we know who killed Yolanda Bindics. The Jamestown chief of police says investigators know who killed Yolanda, but they are absolutely not sure if they have enough evidence to convict the killer. The police officer at that time was a person of interest in the police's mind, never in my mind. There were several fathers to the children of Yolanda. Darian Thomas was the father of Yolanda's second child, and Clarence Carl Cart was the father of Yolanda's youngest child. And the police at that time were deciding whether or not they should take it to a grand jury. In 2013, on Topics, there was a rundown of Clarence Cart's past. At one point, he was 37 from Sinclairville. This is the latest charge. Charged with a license restriction violation leaving the scene of a personal injury accident, imprudent speed, DWI, reckless driving, and drinking alcohol in a motor vehicle. On a highway, Saturday, 3:21 a.m., WC Hospital, after a situation that allegedly occurred in Ellery, Route 380 at 2:15 a.m., he was issued tickets. Then before that, at 36 years of age, he was charged with third-degree aggravated unlicensed operation, DWI in Gary, pulled over for driving erratically, failed several sobriety tests. He was taken into custody, given a breathalyzer, 0.10%, issued tickets in Gary Town Court, released as a sober individual. Going further back, when he was 35, in Sinclairville, charged with third-degree assault for domestic dispute with the wife, called by the victim's sister. Cart blamed the victim here that she hit him, disparaging the victim. That's what we have here. Blaming the victim. Get the handcuffs, somebody, please. Okay? He was determined to be the primary aggressor, however. He was arrested, arraigned in Gary Town Court, sent to Chautauqua County Jail in Mayville, where he was held for a $1,000 cash bond or a $2,000 property bond. Then he was arrested in Florida on robbery charges and was considered a fugitive from justice. He took off August 10th, 2004. This was right after Yolanda disappeared. It is also reported that Mr. Cart was seen at a quick fill across the street from the Family Dollar where Yolanda disappeared the night of August 10th, 2004. To update the case, Yolanda disappeared 2004. It is now 2015. 11 years have now passed, and Yolanda is waiting for her justice in a grave in Holy Cross Cemetery in Buffalo, New York. Her family is also waiting for justice. There is a man that is walking the streets that has killed Yolanda in the area of Jamestown, New York. This is a man that has an incredible past of burglary, robbery, and possibly drugs and alcohol. They usually go hand in hand, and domestic violence. So if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it is a duck. And I'm really wondering why this was never taken to the grand jury. I know this is the district attorney's decision. However, there has to be some kind of DNA analysis coming back from the body. And also, do they possibly know the location of where she was taken to in a home and restricted, and possibly DNA evidence from there or the vehicle? Due to the fact that we have so many females down there from the southern tier still missing, I'm going to put the focus back on the state police, the Jamestown police, that this is a homicide. A girl is still waiting for her justice, and so is the family. Additionally, there is a female that knows what went on during the abduction, and also that there was a blue and white or silver vehicle involved in the abduction. I believe that she was killed by somebody that she had a relationship with, and once again, I'm going to rule out the police officer. Mars was in Virgo, which is a work issue, some kind of a work issue or problem with work came up. An argument and a meeting ensued. There was home and family issues, and someone was taken to a home, and also the sign of Cancer comes up here. Saturn is in Cancer, which indicates restriction in a home south by water. Then Yolanda was taken northeast, placed in a place that is closer to a place of travel, where here it is Boutwell State Forest, travelers, camping, very many different types of cultures, races, and history are there. Again, this was an argument, and there was a hot, passionate argument involving guns and knives, so weapons were definitely used, but this was definitely someone who was physically angry and violent, and so this shows that someone does have a violent temper. I do believe this person has the possibility of injuring another female due to the domestic violence and or the family. This is justice for Yolanda Bindics and her family. Linda Crystal from Blog Talk Radio. Follow me on Blog Talk, subscribe to me on YouTube, and love me on Facebook.